project as a recording artist. It is a 6-track EP, and it follows my prior releases, my LP Older from 2018 and my LP For You, which was released in 3 parts over 2019 and the beginning of 2020. The EP was made very much during the pandemic, because it was really the only thing I could do in terms of my creative projects. You know, I make web series and I've made a feature film. And it was really, you know, just a necessity of the lockdown. There was really no other project I could mount at the time when everything was closed other than to write and record music on my own. So that's what I focused on as something I could do to stay active and stay productive and keep my mind off of the state of the world. I have written and recorded about 30 tracks, and it really bounces around different genres. I've never been one to really stick to a particular sound, and so my stuff ends up being a little pop, a little R&B, elements of dance, some retro stuff. I think I've really settled in on the kinds of music that suit me the best. And so that's what I've done with Love Yah. Love Yah serves as more of an appetizer platter of all the stuff to come. Love Yah has 2 big dance tracks. It's got 2 moodier mid-tempos. It has some power ballads. So hopefully it gives listeners a nice sampling of the kinds of stuff I've been working on and more of what's to come. Also, you know, I've left all of the messaging, for the most part, behind. I feel like I certainly have always been extremely self-conscious about my voice. I feel more comfortable as an actor and more comfortable as a writer than I do as a singer. Despite the fact, coming up as a singer, I sang in high school, I won awards in high school, I did competitions and all sorts of stuff. But there was always the talent of mine that I felt less sure about. And I think I can hear it in my prior records. And this time it was like, you know what? Just do it. Just don't hold back. If it doesn't sound great, if the mixing engineer goes home with bleeding ears, that's what they're paid for. You know, like, just do it and then judge it later. Don't judge it while you're there. And try it. Try something. Try something different. Go bigger. Explore your falsetto. Something I was always terrified of. So, yeah, it was really putting myself first as a singer. And so what I used to do is I used to be very heavy on messaging. So it was like, oh, well, if I'm going to be an LGBTQ singer, I need to sing about LGBTQ things, and that's my hook. My hook is I'm going to sing about particular topics that are just very specific. And I've kind of let that go and allowed myself to be an LGBTQ artist who is an artist who happens to be a gay man. And I don't change the pronouns in my love songs, and I talk about sex the way that I experience sex and the way that I enjoy sex. But I'm not going out of my way to make like, this is for the community, the way that I used to. Handful of exceptions. But just focusing on singing stuff from my heart and from my experiences and letting all the other stuff just sort of fall into place. The hack. Yeah, so I all of the greats, when they come out with a project, they have like a look that goes with it and sort of a general theme. And so I really wanted to create a look and like, listen, it's Amazon and ASOS at this point. I'm sorry, I'm an ASOS queen. That's where we are. The designers will come someday, hopefully. So it was like, okay, I want to dress up like a pop star to the best of my ability and budget. And I had this idea for this hat, and you see it like a lot of, this is not, a lot of people wear this hat. It's available on Amazon, buy it for yourself. But what I want, the reason, there is an actual reason behind wearing the hat. So when I was little, there was a TV show on PBS called Today's Special. Actually, the ending song from Today's Special, which I will not sing for you today, I sing to Lil Maxie, my Cocker Spaniel, every night before we go to bed. Because I'm that gay. So, I loved today's special, and I was a kid, and the character was a mannequin in a department store that would come to life if you put a hat on his head. And so I sort of got this idea in my head of like, you can put all that shit behind about like, the nervousness about being a recording artist and putting yourself forth if you like put on the hat and be this character. Like the hat, in the way that the hat made the mannequin the real person for the purposes of the show, put on the drag and be the thing you want to be. Dress for the job you want. So, that's the reason for the hat. This is the Love Yah hat. It'll show up throughout the Love Yah project, and it's sort of my reminder to myself to like be a pop star. As always, I made Love Yah in a partnership with Dubway Studios. Dubway is where I record the vocals, and previously where I've mixed the vocals and the instrumental tracks. This time, however, because I had all of pandemic to really practice and learn, I've mixed all of the tracks myself. So Dubway was very kind during the previous projects to let me shadow the mixing engineers, and so I'm now really at a point where I can mix the tracks myself, which is great because while I love my old songs, this has allowed me the freedom to really get just specifically what I'm looking for, and not have to work twice as hard to sort of translate what's happening in here to someone else. And I've had nothing but time. The other projects, I had, deadlines, and I was really focused on getting things out. And this time it was like, I'll just bake it until it's done. And I think you can hear that in the music. I think you can hear the maturity and the growth, which is really kind of the number one goal. What makes Love Yah different is that I have steered away from my traditional way of making music, which is to service an idea for a music video I have. I am a child of the music video generation, so I love making music videos, and a lot of my time spent as a recording artist has been creating material from which I can make music videos. And it's a backwards way to look at it. And so this time, in a time where in the early days of the pandemic especially, there was no way I could make a music video of the quality and the caliber that I would want with my resources. It was just focusing on the music and putting all that aside and worrying about the video later, and don't think about the choreography and don't think about the stage show. Don't think about any of that. Just focus on the song. And what I found is that, I have a lot of ideas out of the gate, and when I walk into the recording studio, I pretty much know exactly what I want to do. And I lay down the track and the lead vocals and the harmonies and the backgrounds, and I'll maybe get an idea or two, and then I'll go home and I'll mix it right away because I can never leave anything alone for long enough. And then I put it aside because it's like, well, I can't do anything with it right now. I just gotta put it in the bank. And I'd wait a week or two and I'd listen to it again and I'd be like, you know what? It'd be really cool if there was another harmony line here. Actually, what if the ending went up instead of down? Actually, what if I drop the music here and really make this little piece a moment, and that makes, the second verse different from the first verse. I can sing that better. I'm gonna go back and sing that better. And by actually taking my time, instead of just rushing to produce, get content out there, I just think the songs are just much better baked. No first drafts here. When I write a song, it's starting in one of three places. Either I have a theme or an idea I want to talk about, or a point of view that I think is interesting and maybe hasn't been done a lot. And I start there, and sort of the lyrics start, and then I hear a melody, and then we find the instruments and we go from there. More often, it's me flipping through my sample libraries and finding a synth progression or a drum loop or just the sound of a percussive instrument or something weird, some special effect, and the song is born from hearing that. It gives me an idea. Oh, like, oh, it would go like this, and this is how, and then it would do this, and it would layer like this. Oh, and it's got to be about this, and oh, here's the melody, and it sort of builds from there, sort of over time as the instrumental comes together. And then the other way is, and for me it's the scarier way, is what's a song that I love, and how do I make a song like it that doesn't rip it off entirely? And that's harder because I'm always very nervous about like, don't reinvent wheels that were already done by more expensively by better people, by your icons. So it's about, when I have that, it's like, okay, I want a song like X. Why do I like that song? And then just breaking it down into its sort of constituent components. Like, is it the tempo? Is it the subject matter? Is it the key that it's in? Is it a particular collection of instruments that kind of go together? What is it about? Is it just the feel of the song? What is it? And then once I sort of identify those sort of components, I then build a song around those components. And sometimes you'll be able to like hear it and be like, oh, that's kind of like, and yeah. And sometimes you'll have no idea because it wasn't so much the song as it was the point of view of the character singing the song, or the combination of instruments. So it's the same instruments, but a completely different arrangement, and everything else is different. Love Yah. Love Yah is the first track on the Love Yah EP. To me, it is a very 2000s era Justin Timberlake. Think of me as the Justin Timberlake who would actually treat Janet Jackson with an modicum of respect. So this song I feel like could appear on like sort of the Justified album, and this was really one of the last songs I put together. I wanted something a little dancey. I wanted something that wasn't as emo as some of my other stuff. And I wanted to sing a song about the times without it sounding too dated. So this song is really about the first night out after the pandemic is over and we're all allowed back out and things are as close to normal as they're ever going to be again. And this is a song about being released and getting back out there. I wanted to give it an interesting point of view, so I made it from the perspective of someone who has been quarantining with their partner, so that the point of the song is, hi, we've been locked away together for a very long time. I need to go out and party. I promise I'm not, like, I will behave, everything's fine. I still love you. I'll be home. I gotta get out of here. Don't compare. So don't compare. I built that song around the horn sample. When I found those horns, I was like, I love these horns. It was very kind of Bruno Mars to me. The song to me is like if Macklemore and Bruno Mars had a gay baby. And if you want to keep that graphic image in your head, because it does it for you, you're welcome. Yeah, that's what it kind of sounds like to me. I wanted it to be big. I wanted it to be vibrant. It's a big dance floor, a little disco inspired kind of. I think there's some elements of disco in it. Just a dancey, fun song. Again, a love song, but from a different point of view. This is from the point of view of like, you know, well, I guess it's kind of like the song, like You Drive Me Crazy, right? Like, you drive me crazy like no one else. The song from the 90s. Maybe it's 80s, late 80s, 90s? Google it. But just a song from the point of view of like, you get on my nerves and there's a laundry list of things that drive me nuts, but when I make a list of those things and I make a list of the things that I love about you, you know what? It just doesn't compare to how much I love you. You little rascal, you little scoundrel. And it fits with sort of my current dating life. My Tinder profile says that I enjoy sort of like a rascal with a heart of gold. Like, I want you to be a little bit of a scoundrel, but like not an asshole, not unfaithful, but just I need you to have a little, like, you know, I like that. Prince. So Prince is the closest that I come to a message song this time. So The idea came, I wanted to sing a song about masculinity and just how far we've come as a society in our understanding of masculinity, especially within the gay community. I wanted to sing a story song, which I feel like isn't done often, where the singer sings about a third person's life or experiences. The waitress at the diner, you know, I wanted to do that. And this is a song about a gay man whom, I mean, there's a lyric that he decided that if he had to be gay, he would be the best one. So he's working out at the gym, and femininity makes him uncomfortable. Something that I think is a phase a lot of us kind of go through, especially at the beginning. I'm not going to say that I didn't have those moments in those years of like, well, I'm gay, but I'm not that gay, or I'm not that kind of gay. Which today I look back and think, dear Lord. But I think we all kind of go through it because of the internalized homophobia that we grow up with, and so we hate in others what we hate about ourselves. And as we come to accept ourselves, we stop being so judgmental about the things around us that remind us of the parts of ourselves that we don't like. So I wanted to sing a song about that person and about being in a relationship with someone, dating someone who's still in that piece of their journey. And like, you know, you said some things that I really did not like, but I've seen you, you know, there's a lyric in the song, the rarest person in the world to find is one with bravery to change their mind. And so this is someone who is growing and is learning. And I think that's so important in all of the social issues we're talking about right now. In masculinity is allowing people the space and the patience to learn and grow from what they believe today. And so Prince is a song, becoming a prince in the concept of the song is the amalgamation of your masculine side and your feminine side and integrating and being a complete person who's not really strung up on the labels and is just fully and proudly yourself and the journey it takes to get there. The concept was I wanted a song that used all of those great, you know, 80s Lindrum Prince sounds. And then so I was like, well, it's a Prince song. Well, I'm gonna call it Prince. What's a Prince? Oh, it'll be about this. And it sort of all just kind of came together and sort of this is my concept song. It tends to be people who have listened to the EP already, this is their favorite one. The Feels. The Feels is the second single. And I said to a friend the other day, I went through, you know, I made a web series called History that was about the aftermath of a breakup. And at the time, it was the worst breakup I've ever experienced, and the feelings that I was feeling, and the things that happened, and the loss of the friendship, and the loss of other friendships, and the rebuilding of life, and it made a good dramedy. And then I was in a relationship for 5 years after that, and when that ended, it's like the end of that relationship told the other one, like, hold my beer. It was catastrophic. I almost lost everything, including my mind, if I'm being completely honest. Had a complete mental break, had to isolate, had to repair. And I said to a friend, I was like, if anything, that relationship and how it ended gave me this song. This is my song. The Feels is about a relationship where it is on its last leg, and the only thing that is holding it together is the incredible sexual chemistry. And it's just keeping this relationship on life support until it can't anymore. And that's what the song's about. Mysterious. Mysterious is another sort of moody, vibey song. Very minimal for me. I usually like a lot of instruments and a big arrangement, a lot of stuff going on. This is very simple. And it was meant to be about how we put expectations how we can put expectations on someone that we meet and we're excited about in the early days. And it's taking the point of view of a character who, like, there's a lyric, before the pistol goes off, I'm at the finish. So this is someone who is like seeing the wife, not for me. This is a person who is seeing the marriage and the kids and the dual income and the house you'll own and the lifestyle you'll lead, like a date in, 2 dates in, and is painting this picture that the person will never be able to live up to, or if it does, is completely, winning the lottery. But it's about painting someone with expectations and just sort of the sorrow when those expectations are broken, when it doesn't live up to what you so desperately wanted it to be in the beginning. And why can't you just be what I need you to be? And the sound of it is meant to be a little Timberland, a little sort of minimalist hip hop. Just a kick and some snaps and a couple synths. Very simple. Moody, mysterious. And the album ends with Hold Me. So Hold Me was, I want a song that harkens back to the ballads from the Rhythm Nation album, from Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation. So Come Back to Me, Lonely, not I Get Lonely, Lonely from Rhythm Nation, Someday Is Tonight. I really wanted a song that had that feel. The concept is someone who is through with love, through with men. They've done enough. They've had enough. They've had their great love. It's over. The only thing this person asks for from a man is what he cannot do for himself, which is very little. But sometimes, even though I've become so self-sufficient, sometimes I just need someone to hold me. And that's really what the song is about. It's a ballad, for sure. It sort of has elements almost of a 90s Mariah ballad. No whistle tones, but she can't do that. But especially when I recorded the song, I really loved it, but I felt like it didn't end big enough. I felt like this song needed to end big, and it ended kind of small. And the reason I call it it's like a Janet Mariah song, my Mariah moment, is that when I came back to the studio to play with it a bit after I recorded the first time, the audio engineer who I work with, shout out to Russell, said, I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do at the end to just make it bigger. And he was like, why don't you just have a Mariah moment where you just like riff off a couple of the words and just dance around it, and then pick a high note and just hold it, and just have a Mariah moment. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not Mariah, so apologies for what is about to happen in that recording booth. Sorry in advance. And he laughed, and I went in and I tried a couple things and had a Mariah moment, and one of them I really liked. And that's how Hold Me sort of came together. And I think it's a really great way to close the EP. It ends on a big note, and it sort of mixes, I think, what I do best, which is a lush instrumentation, meaningful lyrics, and a lot of heart. The dream. Oh, the dream is to do this full time. Currently I am, not by choice, but because, so I normally make my coins as a lawyer. I was a corporate bankruptcy lawyer in New York for a very long time, and transitioned out of firm and ran a global department for a media company. That company was bought, and as sometimes happens when you're purchased, the new owners clear out all the old management. So a lot of us were axed, especially those of us who had opinions. So I was axed in August, along with several hundred other people. And it's been tough because I have a fortunate problem in that I was very high up, and very well paid and had a very unique position. And so finding something, I'm not going backwards. So finding something that's comparable just is going to take a lot of time. And quite frankly, I'm trying to take it as a sign of from the universe that I should be, this is my transition period. Use the severance, use the time, use the focus, use the drive, use the hustle, and become a paid creator. Make your content, make your music, make your shows, sell your movies. I think it's time. So here goes nothing.